Welcome to my channel. Go ahead, subscribe, like, whatever makes sense to you. I'm gonna try to polish my nails, but I was guided to come on here now before I do some teaching and training, maybe just so I can get my talking and all the mumble jumble out of the way before I actually go and teach something. Because I mean, come on, this is just like my journal, my vlog, okay? But what is occurring for me is I'm doing a lot of ancestor work, crazy work with the third eye. It did some light language work over the solar eclipse. My birthday's coming up. All sorts of energies going on around me. And I am in total want to only create mode. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to just nothing. All I want to do is create. And so of course then I'm not acting like my best self, because that is, I mean, to a certain extent, but it's not going to serve me optimally to not have some sort of alignment in my life. I cannot be just creating, because what occurs from that then is I behave in ways towards other people that, that's really not my highest self. That's really not me, but it's me who is frustrated with having to do everything else in life, okay? And so I was able to just step back a little bit yesterday and do some really deep connecting, deep thinking. And one thing that's come up for me probably for a year. I sweep it under the rug a lot. Oh no, not yet. And that is during a light language session on my sacred heart journey, I was given this energy, this vision that I have a whole bunch of dragons waiting for, as though they were a concierge, okay, to help women be guided through all of these things that we as women deal with. Right? And ancestral things, societal things, I don't care. If you are human here on earth, we women have certain specific conditions in our fractal lines that really hold us back or make us believe things that are not true, or are somebody else's thoughts and beliefs that rubbed off on us and that we're hanging on to for some reason. And that some reason is because it's deeply embedded in your conditioning, your subconscious, and it's just who you are and how you do things. Well, what I do is I teach you to create new who you are and how you do things, okay? So reconditioning, rewiring the brain, and it's really actually in a super simplistic way. But I am at the level that they keep hounding me, okay? So I put that aside for a long time. months probably. And so then I was in a circle, and in this circle, we're connecting deeply to our guides, all of like the highest place that we possibly can seek some guidance for on this plane as this being. And I come out and I'm like, dang it. Yep. They said I got to do something with these dragons. And I'm like, seriously, it's like, I've said this over and over again. I feel like Oprah. This is what was guided in the first session, was like, you get a dragon. You get a dragon, you get a dragon. And so that's what I envisioned myself doing in this light language session with all these dragons. And so I, like I said, I put that off. And then this came up again, and I'm like, it sounds like I gotta get looking into this. And when I say I gotta get looking into this, this is not like, let me dig. This is about being open to the things that come right to me. Because I said, like, shot that rocket off, that energetic. Okay, I'm going to pay attention. Let me know, okay? I'm going to be open. So right after that, I had a huge download, and something fell right in my lap that is about initiations and the Sophia and the Christ consciousness. And these are things that I worked a whole year on. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. Wow, this is very interesting. And so now that I've been working with the dragons and the Sophia for, oh my gosh, 7 months? Oh my God. Time flies because it's been every day, all day. Every day, all day. And so now, as I'm going to sleep last night, I'm like, why are you resisting this so much? Like, what is it? Like, it's right in front of your face. You have all these dragons. It's like you need to be distributing them. Obviously, they're not just going to be distributed to anybody, but this is the time where they need to be distributed. And so when you have a dragon energy with you, okay? This is just an energy. I mean, if you want to have a visual, you can have a visual. It's like a true energy that is within us that we unlock as we give it attention. And so the dragon energy is like the true compassion, the kindness, the love, the gentle, and yet they're the giant that's protective, and they're not going to allow anything bad to happen. They're going to fight till the death. They're going to fight to the death for you. And what would that be like to have that energy with you? Know that you can withstand and when you can withhold anything, because when it goes to creating boundaries and you've gone a lifetime, 30 years, 40 years of like no boundaries, that's the hard stuff. That's the hard stuff. And it is because of the people that we have taught around us on how to treat us. And so how you can sometimes be an observer of yourself is, what are you seeing in other people? What are you observing in other people? And one of the biggest things that I observe is how I know how someone is thinking about themselves because I'm not connected to it. I'm an observer, because that's what I'm thinking. I can't think that you're an amazing person if you don't give off the vibe like you know you're an amazing person. And as I can recognize that in others, I can turn around and say, hey, where are you coming up short of aliveness, awakeness, awareness of where you're doing this? And that is the stuff that we are continually doing, ingrained in us for years. And so to think that you can just go and change that is, you have to do DNA shifting and changing. You'll have this certain biology right now, and your biology is your biography. And so the story you've been telling yourself is every single cell in your body. And if you think that all of those cells can change like that, most people don't even think that they can change in general. Well, you're creating it by the story you're telling yourself, and it's usually the story you're telling yourself up here, which I'm going to do is my first training after this is going to be about how you're doing that to yourself, how you're creating this reel in your head, what that's creating in the materialistic realm, and how to start to behave in ways that will shift and change all of that. But it starts with the behavioral level. And yet, if you know about my method, my signature program, that like my signature system, my signature methodology is, you got to have a vision, you got to have awareness, you have got to have a connection before, when you work on that behavioral level, which is action, before that action will completely stick and stay and shift, and you will have complete change work. Okay? So that's what people miss, is they can change for a short while, but they continually go back. And most of the time people want to blame it on other people or the program or whatever, so then they don't have to take the responsibility. That's just, these are things that you have to step up, step back, and start to become aware of. What do you need to let go of? What do you need to start saying yes to? And in order to follow through with those yeses, you have to take inevitable actions. Like, you have to set up accountability that's going to create inevitable actions. And that's where you have to start, at the smallest level. Okay, so maybe we call in the dragon and have them do all the big things, and we get to just come down here and do the small things, and then before you know it, we've been doing the small things and we don't gotta even do anything big anymore, because the big things are actually a whole bunch of small things. And that comes down to dualities do not exist. Okay? Everything is one of the same. Everything is relative. Big and small is relative. You're big to you. How are you showing up and how are you creating big? My big to me is the small. And do you know what continually I create out of doing the small things every day? Inevitable success. Inevitable success. Because I set it up that way. I set it up that way. And this is pure psychology of the brain when it comes to the human and behavioral change. And in order to change your deepest embedded thoughts and beliefs, or to really shift and change on an identity level, all of those begin and will not be able to be tended to until you have the behaviors that it takes every single day. Every single day. Why? Because we are shifting and changing your biology by shifting and changing the story of your life, which is your biography, which is creating the cells. And when we have an attitude of negative, then that's going to spark in each one of our genes the shadow tendencies, the shadow energy, the low vibes, the low energy. But if you have an attitude of positivity, that's going to spark the higher vibes. Now, here's the thing. Don't think that you can bypass any of those negative thoughts. Don't think that you can bypass any of those shadows, because those things are what make life worth living. They're the lessons that you have been gifted, and they're waiting for you to find the gift within them, which until you go head on to the shadow, the BS stories, the quote unquote limiting beliefs, the conditioned mind. If you're not, you have to start there, because you can't have light without the shadow. They're one of the same. So stop thinking bad about yourself and start knowing that everything you hate about yourself, everything that you do bad, every reason why you get mad at yourself, those are all your gifts in disguise. And the awareness of the attitude is what is going to start to shift and change. And that is because the awareness of the attitude is like a zing. And that is a light. That's the light to that shadow, is the awareness. The more awareness that is brought towards your attitude, the more you just shift and change. Like, there's not a whole bunch of other things to do. The awareness of your attitude, but you also have in place things such as all of the stuff that I have on my self-love checklist. Every single day, you're taking care of your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, as well as what that's going to do is going to help you have healthy relationships, healthy connections, healthy behaviors, healthy occupations, healthy boundaries. And that's when you're going to start to be the vibe, be the glow of joy, happiness, fulfillment, contentedness, abundance, alignment, balance. And you know what happens? You release. There's a lot of things that need to be released. And as you release, you become lighter. So if you have a lot of pain in your body that needs to be released, you gotta start feeling that pain. You gotta start doing some Kundalini yoga or something, like really knowing where this pain's coming from. And then you are open to all of the greatness that is actually within you right under your nose. All right, we'll see how that goes. Bye.